Thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable with Chris Chamasiros. So let's jump into the show today. I got a lot to talk about. The first thing I want to talk about was Bad Bunny's performance at the Super Bowl halftime last night. Now, first, there seems to be this narrative that Democrats and a lot of Hispanics are pushing that people, citizens of America, they don't like Bad Bunny because he's Hispanic and he's, from Puerto Rico, and that's a bunch of garbage. The problem with Big Bunny is that he's a degenerate, whatever the hell his name is, Big Bunny, Bugs Bunny, who gives a shit? The problem with this Bunny character is he's a degenerate. He's a man that walks around with fake boobs, wearing dresses, wearing high heels, burning American flags at his concerts. And I don't know what Roger Goodell, that's the problem with him. I don't think he's a stupid man, but maybe he just takes the American fans for granted. Like, they've been watching football for 100 years and nothing's going to change, so I don't really give a shit what their opinions are. I'm going to do whatever I want to do. I mean, let's talk about Roger Goodell. He's asking Jay-Z of all people. He's letting Jay-Z and Beyonce of all people pick the halftime Super Bowl show. You know, the same Jay-Z and Beyonce that are excuse me, are all over the Epstein files, who every chance they get are throwing up demonic hand signs, worshiping the devil. But according to Roger Goodell, if you don't have a problem with them, you're the problem. If you have a problem with Bad Bunny, you're the problem. You're the racist. If you don't like Bad Bunny, according to Democrats, liberals, his entire fan base, if you don't like Bad Bunny and the way he carries himself, you are the problem, you are the racist, and you are just not liking him because he's Hispanic. It has nothing to do with him burning American flags at his concerts. Someone needs to let this moron, this degenerate, know that if it wasn't for America giving Puerto Rico $30 to $40 billion a year in subsidies that the American taxpayer pays for, that country would be a total disaster. But hey, burn your American flags, Bad Bunny. Burn your American flags, mock ICE. And this is the craziest part about ICE. A lot of these ICE agents are Hispanic, who are risking their lives every day to arrest people that broke the law, whether they're... Listen, the bottom line is this. If you're in the country illegally, you broke the law. You don't need to rob a 7-Eleven. But a lot of these ICE agents are Hispanic. Oh, let me guess, Bad Bunny, they're sellouts, they're Uncle Toms, they're going to be called all derogatory types names. No, what they are doing is they're upholding law and order. And the craziest part about all this, it's not like Roger Goodell, wheeled out a Hispanic American that was patriotic and loved the country and was a decent human being and acted normal. You want me to believe that a man that puts on fake breasts and walks around and dresses in high heels, that's not a degenerate type of behavior? That's what you're telling me? I mean, I know in 2026, that's not considered degenerate type of behavior, but to me, it's degenerate type of behavior. And I'm not apologizing for my opinion on it. And you think that Roger Goodell would think to himself, even if he doesn't find this type of behavior to be degenerative, that he would pick a better Hispanic person to represent Hispanics in the halftime show. But that's not what he did. That's not what Roger Goodell did. Roger Goodell is a piece of garbage. Roger Goodell has single-handedly destroyed the NFL, whether it's the new rules where you can't hit people, the political messaging, the halftime shows. Beyonce and Jay-Z are all over the Epstein files related to human trafficking, sex trafficking. They constantly throw up devil signs to worship Satan. And Roger Goodell look you in the face and act like these are decent human beings. Jay-Z and Beyonce are garbage human beings. And Roger Goodell is letting them pick the halftime show. Look, I'm not going to get into any more about the halftime show. I thought it was total garbage. So Bad Bunny, Big Bunny, whatever, he does an entire halftime show, and none of it's in English. Not one song is in English. And We're being told if you have a problem with that, you're a racist. Well, here, let me ask all these people from all these South American countries a question. Let's say hypothetically, I was a singer and I wanted to perform in a South American country. And I told you, you know what? A couple months before I perform in your country, I'm going to burn your flag on my stage. And a couple months before I perform, I'm going to tell you, you all better learn English or you're the problem. And then when I get to your country, I'm going to perform all my songs in English and stick up my middle finger basically at all of you. See, these other countries would never accept that. But only in America, we have to accept this, right? Again, it's not like you brought a Hispanic American on stage that was a decent human being, that sung his songs. You know, let's say, for instance, he did one in English, one in Spanish. He did a little Spanglish. Maybe he did a song in both, like, you know, how they mix up the language. No. Roger Goodell, he's got no governor on his brain. He just goes full, he just goes full 10,000 miles an hour. Nope. Not one of these songs is going to be in English. If you got a problem with it, you're the problem, right? It's so laughable. It really is. It's just Roger Goodell's absolute disgrace. And I'm glad that everybody tuned out. But here, let's get to that part. Let's get to the interesting part. Here's another thing that I keep hearing, that Erika Kirk and Turning Point USA are the heroes of the Super Bowl. They saved the Super Bowl. What a complete joke that is. What a complete joke that is. Erika Kirk is one of the most evil human beings on the entire planet. And Candace Owens, the investigator, she's doing a great job, has caught her in a million lies relating to the assassination of her husband, Charlie Kirk. And you want me to believe? See, they're trying to, of course, Fox News and all the so-called conservative media groups, they're pushing this new narrative like, oh, Erika Kirk and Turning Point USA, they saved the day and they saved the Super Bowl. No, they didn't. They're playing chess instead of checkers. And this is just another way to get you to not pay attention to their complicit in Charlie Kirk's murder. They want you to turn the page from Charlie Kirk's assassination in public, all because he was turning on Israel, and Turning Point USA is bought and paid for by Israel. So they want you to turn the page from this. They want you to think that they're the good guys. And Fox News and Jesse Wooders and all the conservative media outlets are pushing this narrative. Excuse me, I have the sniffles once again. They're pushing this narrative that Erika Kirk and Turning Point USA are the good guys. Erika Kirk is evil. Turning Point USA is now run by a bunch of Satanists, all closet case Satanists, who are evil to their core, who took over a $400 million business, and they all knew Charlie Kirk was going to be assassinated. And now because they did an alternative halftime show, excuse me, the new media narrative is Erika Kirk and Turning Point USA are the good guys who saved the Super Bowl. What a bunch of shit. What a crock of shit. And as much as I got a problem with Bad Bunny, the piece of garbage, I got even a bigger problem with Erika Kirk. I got even a bigger problem with people trying to turn the page from that situation with Charlie Kirk. And I'm not really a fan of Charlie Kirk. I agree with a lot of the things that he's said on race, particularly when he says things like in 2025, when he was alive, name one thing that specifically like that a minority group can't do that a white person can do. He was just trying to basically tell you, hey, take responsibility for your life and hard work pays off. And when it came to those types of things, I completely agree with what he was saying. Now, Charlie Kirk, he was bought and paid for by Israel. If he didn't take their money, he'd still be alive. He was hiding a lot of the stuff that Israel was doing. He was not a completely honest person. Charlie Kirk was not an honest person. And you can think, do I think he deserved to be assassinated? Absolutely not. I don't think he deserved to be assassinated. But he set himself up for that. He took the king's shackles, money, whatever you want to call it. And he thought he was going to go in public and start turning against these people. Now he ends up like this. And getting back to Erika Kirk, she was the apparent to the throne. She was the person that was going to take over the kingdom after Charlie Kirk was assassinated. And now all we're going to hear, nobody's going to talk about Charlie Kirk's assassination. And all we are going to hear about is how Erika Kirk and Turning Point USA are the saviors of the Super Bowl. And they really care about America. Meanwhile, they're a Zionist-controlled organization. All they're trying to do is distract you. Erika Kirk knew what she was doing. Her handlers knew what they were doing by creating, a halftime show alongside the actual halftime show, because they knew that all the focus would be on the second halftime show. They knew that it would be off Charlie Kirk's assassination. People wouldn't be talking about it. Oh, Erika Kirk, the savior. Turning Point USA, they saved the day. After Roger Goodell paraded around Bad Bunny. It's just pure evil on both sides. It's just evil. What Roger Goodell did is evil, and with Erika Kirk is evil to her core, and nobody's ever going to convince me different that she's not. So let's move on to the next thing. So now there's a lot of Epstein files being there's more Epstein files being released to the public. Bipartisan lawmakers demand full release of unredacted Epstein files. Republicans Thomas Massey and Anna Paulina Luna, along with Democrats Ro Khanna and Jamie Raskin, reviewed mostly unredacted Epstein documents at the Department of Justice on Monday, following the release of 3 million pages under the 2025 Epstein Files Transparency Act. What a joke. We actually have to have a law, Epstein Files Transparency Act. What they really needed to title it like this: Jeffrey Epstein, the Mossad Agent Transparency Act. That's how you should have titled that. But hey, you're not allowed to say that. They question why certain names, like 4 men born before 1970, remain partially blacked out, and called for complete public disclosure, citing emails that contradicted past claims about Epstein ties to figures like Donald Trump. The files also spotlighted new details on Commerce Secretary Howard Lutnick's island trip plans and France's former culture minister Jack Lang's Epstein links, prompting resignation and bipartisan scrutiny, while an FBI memo denied a broader trafficking ring drew widespread criticism. Well, I'll tell you, our FBI is corrupt as hell, huh? They really want you to believe that Jeffrey Epstein wasn't trafficking minors or sex victims or anything. No, it's all in your imagination. That's really not happening. That's really not what's going on. It's just a total. Our entire government is compromised. It really is. You wonder why, like, we have like young teenagers. Just the public in general has no respect for the most part. A lot of people have respect for law enforcement, but there's a lot of negativity towards law enforcement, and there's a lot of skepticism, you could say. Like, people just roll their eyes and pfft, because it starts at the top. When you see your elected leaders and they can just do whatever they want and nobody ever gets prosecuted, it's like a trickle down effect to your population, and it just creates chaos, and that's what you're seeing here before our eyes. You're seeing chaos. You had Epstein, who worked for the Israeli government, is destroying the United States of America from his grave right now. Breaking: President Trump says all pics in Epstein files are edited, fake, and AI generated. He never visited Epstein Island. Whatever. It's just whatever at this point. Let's see what else is going on. Let's hear what Thomas Massey had to say. Hold on, let me see something because I don't see this popping up during my live. So just give me a second. Let me check something out here. X screen. No, you know, let me go back to it. Give me a minute. I got to check that out later. I have a little technical problem with that, but I'll just read it to you. You know, Thomas Massey, he's been fighting this thing since the very beginning, and he's not going for the garbage. And there's a lot of garbage. There's all types of videos of Epstein being a degenerate that he is with underage girls and dancing around with girls. And I mean, none of this is shocking at this point. God, please. Kim Kardashian at the Super Bowl. Like anybody gives a shit at this point. Supposedly, Kevin James, the actor, he was stood up at the Super Bowl. His date didn't show up to go out with him at the Super Bowl. I feel bad for him, but hey, at least you got money. It could be worse. You could be broke and lonely. Let me see what else is going on. So you got Robert De Niro, the alcoholic. Today he's burning American flags, saying bye bye to the United States of America. Hey, Robert, don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. You're just a piece of garbage. Also, new release documents show an FBI agent removed hard drive camera systems in Epstein's cell. See, this I wanted to talk about this. Dan Bongino, do yourself a favor. Dan, you claim that you've seen the files and that Epstein definitely killed himself. There's no doubt about it. Epstein definitely killed himself. And now it's coming out in the files that an FBI agent removed the camera system from Epstein's cell. And you want everybody to take you serious like you're this big pillar of righteousness and morality. Like Bongino has no credibility at all at this point. None, zero. This is really pissing me off that I can't bring this up on my. I'm going live right now and I'm using X in a different format and I'm looking at the live and it's not popping up on the screen. So it's kind of messing me up right now. But anyway, Bongino, you have no credibility and you're attacking all the people that are calling you out on your garbage. You're the same guy. Epstein killed himself. You saw the tape. It just gets released today that an FBI agent destroyed the actual footage of Epstein the night that he was murdered, and he was murdered, that an FBI agent destroyed the footage. So, Dan, are you going to answer about that? Are you going to talk about it on your show? Why in the Epstein files is it being released that an FBI agent destroyed the camera footage from Epstein's cell? Are you going to talk about it, Dan? Of course you're not. Bongino is just a total clown. Of course, Don Lemon, the bomb. Bad Bunny is the biggest artist in the world right now. It's Bad Bunny, Taylor Swift, Beyonce, and Kendrick Lamar. Four people you hate. You are out of touch. People don't give a shit about stupid Kid Rock. Kid Rock ain't shit. No, Don, you ain't shit. Matter of fact, you lost your job because all you do is lie and you're a racist and you're a race baiter. You ain't shit, Don. And obviously it's not true. And I'm going to tell you why. Do you think the NFL wants to lose 25 million viewers at halftime because they were watching an alternate Super Bowl show? You think the NFL wants to lose 25 to 30 million viewers, whether they lost 5, 10, 20? You think they want to lose a million? You think they even want to lose 1 million viewers to an alternate halftime show? That's what you think, Don Lemon? You just Don Lemon's just a piece of garbage, and he'll be a piece of garbage till the day he dies. So it's whatever. Harry Sisson asked if He's willing to take illegal immigrants to live with him. Harry, unfortunately, I will not be taking anybody in because I have one bedroom in New York City. It's very expensive. Harry, system, do us all a favor. Go back to England or the UK. You come here and you want to get involved in American politics, and you think like you're being paid big money by Democrats to spew your nonsense as your country. Uh, there's like an illegal Muslim takeover in your country where your daughter can't even walk down the street, and we're gonna listen to Harry Sisson of all people tell us what should go on in America. Go f yourself, Harry. Seriously, another piece of garbage. Let me see what else is going on. Yeah, Lady Gaga supporting bad, but of course another Satan worshiper. Congressman Randy Fine says Bad Bunny's halftime show broke the law. F bombs, pornographic lyrics, live TV. If this were in English, fines would be raining down. He's sending a letter to the FCC demanding action against the NFL, NBC, and Bad Bunny. Let's see if the rules still apply. You know what's funny about Congressman Randy Fine? And you just heard what I said about Bad Bunny. I can't stand him. But Congressman Randy Fine, why do you think you're like this moral compass of righteousness? You're the same guy that supports a genocide in Gaza of, Palestinian children getting shot while they reach for an orange or bowl of, a thing of cereal because they haven't eaten in 2 weeks. You don't have a problem with Benjamin Netanyahu, and you don't have a problem with a genocide, but you want it to be like a full scale war against Bad Bunny. Now, I don't like Bad Bunny. I think he's total garbage. Do I think that all of these, the NFL, NBC, and Bad Bunny should be getting fines and getting in trouble with law enforcement? Absolutely not. And this is what I mean why you're just a total effing joke, Randy Fine. You really are a joke. You don't get to control freedom of speech in America. See, this is the problem, right? This is the problem with idiots like him. See, they'll try to convince you they're doing good and they're for righteousness. But when he does stuff like that, that also means if you criticize Israel in any capacity, he'd want you locked up too. He'd want you to lose your job. He'd want the ADL to come in and put you on a list and make you like America's most wanted. Randy Fine is no friend to America, and he's no friend to the Constitution whatsoever. And as much as I can't stand Bad Bunny, as much as I'm mad at the NFL right now, as much as I'm mad at NBC, do I think they should be getting fined? Absolutely not. So Randy Fine, shut up. Do us all a favor. Another idiot. Another Zionist idiot that wants to look like he's the good guy. Hey, let's not talk about the 800,000 people in Palestine that Benjamin Netanyahu just slaughtered just so he could take the land and put up hotels and pools for Donald Trump. Not allowed to talk about that, though, right? No big deal, Randy Fine. You got idiots on X too. Javi Ruiz, Bad Bunny's Super Bowl show reminded millions of viewers of something geographically never forgot. America is a continent. The United States is just one country. And listen, just shut the F up. Just shut up. And all those other continents, you know what their main sport is? It's soccer. It's not football. Football is America's pastime, not baseball, football. And this is the idiotic, ignorant statements that you'll get. And again, who's this? Javi Ruiz? Let me ask you a question, you moron. When Bad Bunny was doing his performance, all you saw was all these flags from all these other countries. You didn't see one American flag. Every song was done in Spanish. So you know what? I want to go to I want to be a singer, and I want to go to all these South American countries, and I'm going to do a whole skit where everybody's waving American flags. I'm not going to do one song in Spanish. They're all going to be in English. And I want you to tell, and you know what would happen if I actually did that? You're a racist. I would be called every name in the book, and you'd be the first one calling me those names. Is it too much to ask Roger Goodell and the woke piece of garbage NFL to pick a halftime performer that does his show in English? Is that too much to ask, Roger? I mean, I know you don't care about the working man and the middle class who have supported the NFL for the last 100 years, who spends their hard-earned money on jerseys, games, going to games, buying merchandise. Now, those fans don't matter anymore because you already have them, right? Let's make the game global. Even if that means you have a stadium full of people, 100,000 people in the stadium, and they can't understand one word that a performer is saying. F you, Roger Goodell. For real, F you. Piece of garbage, Roger Goodell. Oh, I wish I could bring this up. There's a video going on of Roger Goodell. He's watching the Bad Bunny performance, and you could see it in his face. Like, oh, I didn't even see that. At one point in the Bad Bunny performance, they're like grinding against the truck. They're like rubbing their asses on the truck, men and women, and they're grabbing their crotches. This is what Roger Goodell thinks your 10-year-old should watch during the halftime Super Bowl show. Men and women grinding a truck and grabbing their own crotches and balls. Yeah, wonderful show, Roger. Wonderful. It's just, dude, it's just whatever. Really is. There's a new poll. The left is furious after a new poll reveals a supermajority of people says Kid Rock had a better halftime show than Bad Bunny. 67% to 33. Look, I said what I said. Turning Point USA is not the savior of the Super Bowl. Erika Kirk is not a good person, and neither is Turning Point USA. Yeah, at least I can say one thing. Bad Bunny wasn't part of an assassination squad. At least I could say that about Bad Bunny. So let's give the guy some credit, you know. As much as demonic and satanic as he is, at least he wasn't part of an assassination squad on live television. But hey, I'm just being cynical, all right? It's me. I got a bad attitude. Let's see what else is going on. This really messed up. I'm sorry, this messed me up a little bit. A little technical problem with my X pulling up videos on X for some reason. I don't think I had that problem the other day. Oh, let's Marjorie Taylor Greene, she had a lot to say. Let's see what she had to say. You know, it's not coming up. Bear with me. There's a real important bill coming up pretty soon. It's called the SAFE Act. Only Democrats would oppose this. Only Democrats would have a problem with, you know, when you go to vote, asking for your ID. That's because Democrats, that's all they do is cheat. Oh, it's racism to ask somebody to show their ID to vote. I mean, you have to show your ID in the United States of America to do anything. But one of the, the most important thing you could do in your life is to vote. Oh, you shouldn't have to show ID. Why would Democrats want that? Oh, let me guess. I can't figure that out. Elizabeth Warren, Pocahontas here. She says the SAFE Act creates obstacles for voters, especially married women who change their names. Reporter hits her with reality. Americans need ID to do almost everything else in daily life. Warren's comeback. You don't need a birth certificate. I hope you know that. These people are just unbearable. They have no shame. They're the scum of the planet. You know, why do you think that they have open borders? Oh, we can't control Americans' votes. We can't dictate how the elections are going to go. So let's just replace every American's vote, regardless of you're black, white, Hispanic, Asian. We're going to replace all Americans' votes with illegals who we gave all free stuff to because we can pretty much guarantee who they're going to vote for. And they're going to vote for whoever gives them the free shit. That's who they're going to vote for. Breaking, the House is about to vote to vote to pass the Save America Act and send it straight to the Senate. Rep. Brandon Gill just laid it down crystal clear. I expect every Republican in the House to vote yeah. I doubt that because there's always some rhino that will go against it. We all know that. And this list, there's a countries with voter ID. Iceland, Sweden, New Zealand, there's every country in the world pretty much makes you show an ID to vote. But America, no, that's not a good idea. I wonder why Democrats are so against that. Just a disgrace. They just have no. There is no coming together with that group at all because they have no shame about anything. Zero, zilch. Let me see something. I'm trying to pull stuff up here, but unfortunately, I'm having a little issue again with my X account. Go figure. We all saw the Super Bowl. I mean, I don't really care. I'm a Steelers fan. Who won is irrelevant to me. Let's see what else is going on. Let me try to pull up something else. Supposedly, Japan is going to crash the stock market tomorrow. The biggest dump is coming. Bank of Japan will sell $600 billion in U.S. stocks. Whatever. I mean, there's always some threats going on to the United States of America. That's the problem. We need to just be dependent on ourselves. We shouldn't be dependent on any other country for anything. We shouldn't be dependent on countries for building stuff, importing goods, importing food, bringing in wood, nothing. America should only be dependent on itself. And when other countries do stupid shit like this, it should be like, you know what? I don't care. Go F yourself. We don't need you anyway. But hey, Democrats love when America has to depend on its enemies for anything. You know, that's a great bill. That's a great idea. Let's depend on China, Russia, and Iran. You know, for food and gas and oil and everything else. Sounds like a great idea, right? Sounds like a great idea. Give me a break. And in Florida, there was kind of a confrontation because in a sports bar, they switched to the alternative halftime show with Kid Rock, and a guy got mad and he started to try to attack people. It's like, dude, you know what? This is America. Just because you like something doesn't mean that everybody else has to like it. Like, who are you to go to the owner and demand that it be put back on? You don't own the effing bar. If you don't like it, get out. During the Super Bowl on February 8th, the Zoo Sports Club and Grill in Florida changed its TVs from Bad Bunny's historic all-Spanish NFL halftime performance to Turning Point USA's All-American halftime show featuring Kid Rock and country stars. One upset customer filmed himself confronting the manager, calling the switch racist, and saying it stole a proud moment for his... Oh, shut the F up. Shut up. He was escorted out and banned. The video drew millions of views, which conservatives praising the bar in 5-star reviews, while critics hit it with 1 stars, turning the bar's choice into a symbol of Super Bowl culture divide. Listen, you don't own the effing bar, clown. If you don't like it, leave. If you don't like the food, leave. If you don't like what's on the TV, leave. They don't need you there. You don't run the bar. If I ever owned a bar and you came in there and you told me what's going to be on the TV, how I'm going to cook the food, I don't give a F what color you are. I would tell you, get the F out of my bar. F you. That would be my response to you. Oh, it's racism. You don't like a man in a dress that puts on fake boobs and wears 8-inch high heels. It's racism. You don't like a guy that burns American flags and says, F you, I'm going to sing every song in Spanish. How dare you? That means you're a racist. So, number 1 on the charts right now after the halftime performances, Music industry is shook as Kid Rock overtakes Bad Bunny for the top song in the world. This is despite Apple's nonstop promotion of Bad Bunny. We have the power, change culture. You know, like all these big Apple and all these like huge powered companies, they want your kids to be degenerates. They want your kids to cut their penises off. They want your kids to be hooked on gambling. They want your kids to be unpatriotic. They want your kids to disrespect the family structure, disrespect their father, their mother. All of these big companies are absolute cesspools, and their whole goal and their whole agenda is to wipe God out of the picture and break up the family structure and turn your kids and your family into a bunch of disgusting degenerates. And that's why they love people like Big Bunny, Bad Bunny, whatever. Bad Bunny is an absolute degenerate who sold his soul for fame. You know, they did the humiliation ritual, making him walk around in a dress, making him put on fake boobs. What normal man, what normal human being does something like that? I don't care how much money you'd offer me. I'm not doing that. I got to look at my face in the mirror. Like my name means something to me. My image of myself means something to me. Some people can't be bought. They can't be reasoned with. Bad Bunny sold his soul. You wear prosthetic breasts and walk around in a dress and 8-inch high heels and you call your behavior normal. Hey, listen, I'm never gonna I don't care if it's the year 2085. If you're a man acting like that, you need to go to a mental institution. So that's my opinion. You don't like it, too bad. I'm not apologizing. I will never apologize. So you can call me every name in the book. You can threaten me. It doesn't matter to me. I'm not apologizing ever. All right, let me end it with that. I gotta fix my X account. I apologize for some of the delays today when I'm talking. I had things that were supposed to like pop up when I pushed it. Of course, I'm looking at my live right now, and to the left it's just blank, and that's not the way it's supposed to be. So I'm gonna end it with that. Thanks for tuning in to Unbreakable with Chris Chamasiros.